And there it is. All right. We're going to give this a minute for everybody so they can hear me. As soon as you guys can hear me, just let me know that you can hear me. Can you guys hear me all right? Okay, perfect. All right. Welcome. We're going to be talking about Is It Over? Got some interesting stuff I want to share with you guys. Just some thoughts, some insights, and stuff like that. So we will get into all that shortly. But before we get started, I just want to say if we have any interruptions in the stream, any problems, I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so just putting that out there to start with, and just be patient if there's a problem, and I will get right back on. All right. On top of that, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel, and excuse me. I would ask you to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't follow those rules, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here. So don't do it. I know we've been having here, because I see what happens. Okay, I'll share some stuff with you guys really quickly. So what happens is, like, before my stream starts, I'll get like an influx of like 20 subscribers that come in, right? And then they come in the stream and try to do whatever they try to do. And then what happens is, after the stream's over with, then they leave again. So it's, I'll see that drop, and it's about 20. So I'm like, whatever gets your jollies off, that's fine. So, people are a trip. That is for sure. Okay. So we're going to be talking about Is It Over, right? Before I want, when are you going to be talking with Angry Prepper? That's going to be on the 16th, Paul Taylor. I'm going to be on the Angry Prepper show on the 16th. So look for that. So we're talking a little over a week away. So it's going to be on a Monday. So 8 days away, I will be on his show. So that's what, and we're going to be, it's at 9 o'clock at night, East Coast time. Okay. So just let you know. Thumbs down already. You're doing good. Yeah. Well, they're dedicated. I will give them, the people that hate me are very, very dedicated as well. So, but anyhow, so, before we get started, I don't know if you guys saw this in the news or not. Alex Trebek died, 80 years old, did Jeopardy for 36 years, I believe it was. I gotta say, I really liked him. I thought he did a really good thing for a long time. Very, very smart man. It's unfortunate that he passed away, but he was 80 years old too. So, but I know he'd been fighting cancer for quite a long time. So sad to see that happen. But okay, so couple things. You guys are a couple things you're probably not aware of that I'm going to bring up that I think are quite interesting. So we're going to talk about that as we move forward a little bit in the stream. So definitely stick around to hear what I have to say about that. But it's not over, right? Mr. Rose, you're 100% right. It's not over, okay? Realistically, what we need to do right now, there is so much stuff going on out here. A lot of information coming out. They're saying that the ballots were watermarked. Were they watermarked or not watermarked? I have no idea. So I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, they were watermarked, and they're going to be checking that, and they're going to catch people that are cheating in the whole 9 yards. I can't say that for 100% certainty, so I won't say it. You know what I mean? But is there a possibility that they were watermarking ballots? There is. Especially, the president was talking months and months ahead of time that voter fraud could happen with mail-in ballots, right? So, and there was situations where mailmen were dumping ballots. They got that. They got it right on tape, dumping ballots into dumpsters. So, absolutely there's, the situation is there for fraud, right? It absolutely can happen, okay? But here's the problem. There's so much stuff going on out here where people are saying, that there was a computer program used. Again, that can't be verified. There's videotape of pollsters that were supposedly counting marking ballots and then stamping them afterwards. There's video evidence of that. Okay, so were they marking ballots in favor of Joe Biden or not? Again, that's a thing we don't know. Most likely, a lot of times in certain areas, that is the case. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, Texas social worker charged with 134 counts of voter fraud. I did see that one. And again, you know what, guys, that's going to happen realistically. I mean, let's be realistic. That can happen on both sides. So it's not like, and thank you so much for that information, and thank you for the donation as well. It's not like only the left does that. The right never does that, okay? I mean, let's be realistic, okay? I mean, you know, fraud is fraud. It happens all over the place. We get it, okay? But with the situation that we see, okay, so let's look at what we saw first, right? Me watching like everybody else in the country. The president's way ahead in several states going up to midnight, right? Hey, Trekker, a company that ran voting machines in 30 states owned, hold on a second. Owned by a spouse of DNC senator and former DNC staffers. That's interesting. Yeah, that's good information to know too. Like I said, I'm not saying that there's not voter fraud. I'm not saying that improprieties have been done, okay? I did see the dead people voting as well. Thank you, Francis Reiner, for saying that. Yes, I did see that as well, that dead people were voting. Again, fraud happens all the time, okay? There's corruption in government. We all know that. But the corruption is not just one side, okay? Like I said, again, we have to realize the fraud goes both ways. Now, with the galvanized hatred of this president, it does not surprise me at all, okay, of what happened. Now, I did see this, and, and if I'm wrong on this, please correct me. But this I did see. It said that the Joe Biden got less votes in every single state, less than Hillary Clinton, less than Obama did, other than Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, and I believe it was North Carolina, okay? So I find that really, really interesting that when you got to that point at midnight, okay, and I don't even think they still have called North Carolina, all right? And 100% of the votes have been in for quite a while in North Carolina with the president leading that, okay? And they still haven't declared that for him. The whole thing was very, very suspicious. I'm just giving you my opinion, okay? Is somebody watching it? The whole thing was very, very suspicious. And so my big thing, I know that they're contesting different things. They're checking different things, okay? I don't see how Biden got more votes than Obama. Right, I agree with you 100%, Mr. Rose. I agree with that 100%. Virginia called it for Biden at 1%. Yeah, and I noticed that too. I mean, it was so ridiculously biased in the news media. But again, realistically, we knew that going in. So, hold on a second. I wanted to read this comment here. Former senator of Michigan worked poll after poll challenger. He said the cheating was alarming. And again, that does not surprise me at all. It does not surprise me at all. Again, there obviously is a very serious agenda to get the president out, and they will do whatever they have to do to get the president out. I mean, we know that, okay? We know that. So, it's just unfortunate that it went down like this, that, with the president leading realistically all over the place, and then we get to midnight. And like I said, again, highly suspect, especially Pennsylvania. Come on. The president, again, and let's just break this down, okay? Did you hear anything about truckers going on strike to stop the steal? You know what? I heard that may happen, but I doubt that would happen. First of all, people got to eat. They got to feed their families. So for truckers to take a whole month and not transport and have them all do it in unison, I don't see that's going to happen. And you got to remember, not every trucker is going to be into politics. Not every trucker is going to be a Trump fan. There's going to be your independent truckers out there. You're going to have your hey, Steve Hoop, thank you very much for the donation. Says, thanks for being you. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much for that donation. So I'm going to coordinate a strike like that we're talking about. It's going to be very, very difficult to do because, again, you're going to have a lot of Biden supporters that are truck drivers, just like you're going to have Trump supporters that are truck drivers. And then you're going to have people that don't care, okay? So don't you think it's too optimistic? Hold on a second. Don't you think it's too optimistic for Biden to be celebrating before the Electoral College declaring who won? And here's the thing with that. This is one of the points that I wanted to bring up. Okay, Al Gore. Now, I'm sure a lot of you remember Al Gore was declared the winner, right? So for 37 days, we thought that Al Gore was going to be our next president. And then it was the hanging Chad, the whole hanging Chad thing. And guess what happened? Al Gore was not our president. Okay, so again, what we got to remember is this thing is not over by a long shot. We need to be patient. Let it run its course. Let the lawyers do their job. If they can, see, here's the thing, what people need to remember, okay? If they can prove fraudulent activity in these different states, and they can prove, okay, that there was cheating involved, I think that's going to be a clear-cut thing showing that, like I said, again, when I was talking earlier here just a moment ago before I got interrupted, which I always do, but that happens, Pennsylvania, the president was up by 700,000 votes. Now, I want you to, let's put that into perspective, okay? Now, I don't know how many mail-in ballots there were in Pennsylvania, and I talked about this before, but they were talking about 8 or 9 million people countrywide did mail-in ballots, right? Okay, so, and again, and I broke it down this way to make it really realistic of how ridiculous this is, okay? Let's say there was 1 million people that mailed in their ballots in Pennsylvania, which we know that's not the number. The number's less than that, but let's just call that the number, okay? You would have to have had 850,000 or 85% of those people vote for Biden and only 150,000 to vote for Trump for Biden to catch up. That is not going to happen. That is absolutely not going to happen. And I want you guys to remember something else too. All right. The Trump administration put out there, because when they had their last debate, Biden said, no, I'm not against fracking. I'm not against fossil fuels and all this, so coal and stuff like that. Right. And President Trump said, I will put that out there. I'll put the video out there. And he did. Several incidences where Biden had said that he would definitely get rid of fossil fuels. He would get rid of fracking. Now, I'm not saying I'm for fracking. I think fracking does harm. Myself personally, I'm giving you my opinion. But fracking is legal in this country right now, okay? People use coal right now, all right? What I'm saying is, if I lived in Pennsylvania and my job depended on fracking or coal, do you think those people are going to vote for the guy that said he's going to get rid of that? I mean, come on. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. So, again, for all of a sudden Biden to come back from being down 15 percentage points, guys, and win Pennsylvania, I'm not buying it, okay? So something is definitely not right, okay? Something is hanky. Something has been going on. Again, same thing. He was ahead in Michigan. He was ahead in Ohio. He was ahead in Georgia. Again, all of it doesn't make sense, okay? And how come Biden declared victory over Bush 3 days ago? You mean the president? I don't know. I don't know what I misunderstood what you're saying. Maybe, I don't know. But again, as of election night, if we were all watching the same thing that I was watching, the president was poised to win and win big. Okay. poised to win big. And then all of a sudden they shut down. And Biden says, I don't know if you guys caught it when he was doing his thing. We're going to go to sleep, and in the morning everything will work out. And he had that, I'm going to use the term, that shit-eating grin, okay? Now, I don't usually swear, so I apologize for swearing, but that knowing I know something that you don't know grin, I didn't like that, okay? That just rubbed me wrong. And if you guys saw that same thing, that's fine, okay? Now, again, Biden called Trump George. Oh, did he really? Well, there's some confusion there. There's definitely some confusion there, okay? Again, this whole thing is it's crazy. It really, really is crazy. Guys, we're at 1,500 people in the chat. We're at 472 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. I appreciate that. Again, it also really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is in the ratings. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. So thank you. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. I'm not going to lie. And but that's the other reason I appreciate that. So thank you for that. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would also ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon also to get all notifications. Really quickly, I want to remind everybody, because I want to get it out of the way early, and then we can just move on and we can have this discussion. Tonight is the last night of my sale on my website, okay? It's not about selling. I'm just letting you know. If you would like to get Legacy freeze-dried foods, tonight is the last night of the sale. It ends at midnight West Coast time tonight, okay? You can save 20% off on your Legacy freeze-dried foods. You go to my website, preppernurse1.com. You will click on store. It will drop down. You will see Legacy. You click on that. What we have available is there. So if you would like to take advantage of that, I would encourage you to do so, because I'm going to tell you right now, I will not be doing another sale this year. Okay, so that's not going to happen. I will not be doing another sale this year. So I don't want people thinking, oh, all you preppers, all you're trying to do now is sell. Today's the last day of the sale. You won't hear me bringing up any sales, because I won't be doing any sales. If you choose to buy long-term freeze-dried food storage or not, that is completely up to you. If you like Augustin Farm or you like Mountain House better, knock yourself out. What I want you to do is make sure that you take care of yourselves. That's my most important thing. So if you buy it from me or you buy it from somebody else, it doesn't make any difference to me. I'm just encouraging you to do it. And again, like I said, it's a 20% off discount, and that ends today. VR says state legislators can override the electorals for each state, not certify results. 28 states are controlled by Republicans. Okay, well, thank you for that information. I did not know that. But thank you also for the donation. I appreciate that. Real quickly, too, on my website, we have jdega.com, which is the CBD and hemp store. I want to talk about them real quick. They are the CBD products and obviously hemp. If you wish to go there, the link is down below in the description. Also on my website, preppernurse1.com, you'll see it there. You click on that, it will take you to their link, to their store. If you decide to make a purchase, when you check out, make sure you use the discount code PrepperNurse1. You'll save 15% on your purchase. And the last thing that I want to talk about real quick is on my website, we have the Prepper Nurse 1 community. We have that there. It's for you guys to connect with like-minded people. Definitely take advantage of that. It is absolutely free to join. No registration fee, no credit card information is asked, but you do have to register, okay? But it's totally free. So go ahead and do that. Read the message boards, connect with people in your state or your country, and you can go from there, okay? So that's the business aspect of this whole stream. We will now go back to just talking about everything going on. Again, regardless of who wins this election, whoever ends up the winner, okay? And if fraud is proven, okay, if fraud is proven, then obviously it's not going to be Biden. Okay, so we have that hope still, obviously, because obviously I wanted Trump to win. I mean, I put that out there, got a ton of hate for it, which is fine. But you know, like I said before, and I've said it again, you're not voting for the man, you're voting for the policies. All right, I don't want my taxes to go up. Okay, I don't want to live in a socialist or communist country and have those type of people running the show. Okay, I don't want that. Again, and I've said this before, we need to have programs that are not handouts, that are hand-ups. that we help people to educate themselves, to get good jobs, to become productive members of society, okay, we need to focus also on treatment, not giving out free drugs, not having places where they can go and shoot up, all right? That's not the answer. The answer is getting these people into treatment and not just treating the addiction, treating the underlying reasons. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as a former person that used quite a bit of drugs back in the day, people use drugs to mask feelings, to hide from reality, to not face reality. Trauma has happened in their lives. They do drugs so they don't have to deal with it. It happens constantly, guys, constantly. So again, if we could focus on the treatment, get people treated so that they can get the treatment that they need, so they can get through the trauma, they won't have the reason to do drugs anymore. And you give people a purpose. Giving them a handout is not giving people a purpose. Giving them a hand up absolutely does. Okay, so I wanted to put that out there too. Regardless of who wins this election, continue to prep. I will say that from day one. Get your canned goods, get your long-term food storage, get anything that you can possibly get ready, because again, we never know what is going to happen, okay? AOC and the key Democrats have come out and said they're compiling a list of anyone who supported and voted for Trump for retaliation. How can they get away with this terrorist threats? You know, I saw that, and I don't know how real that is or not. I did see that as well, okay? If that's real, if that's a real thing that was done, that's completely wrong, and that should not be allowed to happen. Again, at some point, okay? Oh, yeah, just like Oregon, yeah, exactly. Oregon legal. Okay, let's hold on. I got to take a breath because you guys are throwing stuff at me and different things are jumping in my head. So I want to talk about, we're going to talk about Oregon and the legalization of basically everything in Oregon, okay? If you can keep a population addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, addicted to pharmaceutical medications, all right? So that, again, why do people take antidepressants, right? They take antidepressants because life is so hard and it's tough. And I'm not mocking it. I'm not mocking it. I don't want you to think I'm sitting here mocking anything. But what it does is it makes it so that you don't have to deal with reality. The reality is life sucks sometimes. It sucks for all of us sometimes. Not everything is not always sunshine and roses, okay? There are times where you're going to be very upset, that you're going to be depressed, okay? But drugs, alcohol, pharmaceuticals are not the answer for that. The reason that they're legalizing all this stuff and want it legal is because if they can keep you dumbed down, then you're not going to fight. You're not going to be resistive. You're going to go, I'm just going to go get high. Or I'll just take my antidepressant and I'm just going to sit in my chair and not worry about anything because now I don't care, okay? I mean, that's the reality. I mean, as a nurse, and I've been a nurse for a very, very long time, I've seen so much. You guys have no idea all the stuff that I have seen through my years. I've seen addictive personalities of people. I used to call a certain group of people, I used to call them seekers, which they're drug seekers, where every 4 hours on the button, they know that they can get their pain pill, and every 4 hours they're on that light looking for that pain pill. Okay, that's not somebody that's really in pain. That's somebody that wants the drug. That's what it is. Okay, everybody has a choice. Hold on a second. Everybody has a choice, even you, and I don't make bad ones. There you go. Yeah, I've made plenty of bad ones. I've made plenty of bad choices in my life. I will not deny that at all. But again, you know what? We live and we learn. They want us to be asleep. They don't want us to wake up and realize how badly we are all being manipulated. We are all being badly manipulated. That's what people don't understand. They just don't understand that. We need to wake up. Okay. Now, hey, L. Gibson, making people dependent makes people controllable. You're 100% correct. You are 100% correct because they're not going to want to change anything if something is going to get cut off. Okay. Watching kittens is my drug of choice. Oh, I get that. Like I said, I love my animals. My animals are a big part. Now, I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know how true it is, okay? Are the truckers going on strike on the 29th? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Like I said again, and I mentioned it earlier, somebody had said that they're going to go on strike for a month. I find it very hard to believe because you're never going to get that unification with the truck drivers because, again, and I said it earlier, some of the truck drivers supported Biden. Why would they go on strike if the candidate they won is in office? They're not, okay? Independent drivers who could care less about what the politics are. There's plenty of those people too, guys, okay, that don't like politics. They're going to still drive because, again, people have to feed their families, okay? They have to feed their families. So, but, yeah. Let's see. Joseph Stalin said, those who vote decide nothing. Those who count the vote decide everything. I agree. Like I said, do I believe there's fraud involved in this election? I absolutely do. Do I believe there's fraud in this election against our president, President Trump? Yes, I do. Okay. There is, again, and I said this before, there is no way you make up 700,000. Let's remember that number, guys. That's how much Trump was up in Pennsylvania. He was up 15 percentage points. 700,000 votes. And magically, there was just enough votes that Biden wins Pennsylvania. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. If it's honest, if it was an honest election and Biden wins, then I go, okay, hey, that's our next president. We got to deal with it. We may not like it. If Biden ends up being our president, again, we may not like it. But then you better prep more than you have ever prepped before if Biden ends up being our president, because I'm telling you right now, he's not the one running the show. He is a yes man. He's going to do what he's told. Here's my prediction. If Biden ends up being the president, okay, this is a prediction, just putting it out there, he'll shut this country down again. They're going to mandate that you all wear a mask wherever you are all the time, okay? All about control, all about putting their agenda in place, okay? We need to, this is one of the reasons why I didn't want him to be president, because he basically said, well, I'll do whatever they tell me to do. That's basically what he said. If you listen to what he had talked about, that's what he had said. They shut down this economy again, and they restrict people, and they bring in and don't allow movements of people and stuff like that. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really bad, because once again, how ready are people? And I want you to think about this too, okay? The last time this whole thing happened, it really started jumping out late February, March. We were coming into spring. We are now, the numbers that they're saying, better than 100,000 new cases per day, right, is happening now. They're basically, somebody had said that when Biden goes into office, we may be at the peak. Okay, now here's something to think about. Let's just throw this little nugget out here. And this was the nugget I was saving for you guys. Okay, we're saving this nugget. This one, I think you'll like this one. Some of you will like it, some of you won't. How does the president stay in office even if he has lost this election? Let's think about this a second. How does he stay in office even if he lost the election? How would he do that? Martial law. Why would you have to enact martial law? Why? Well, because this crazy pandemic is out there and they have to shut everything down. And now you have martial law to control everything, right? There's no transition of power during martial law. Something to think about. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but we got to put our thinking caps on. Always got to put our thinking caps on and think about what could happen. What is a possibility, okay? So that's something to think about, okay? And if that happens, you want to see the left lose their freaking minds. Lose their minds, okay? Absolutely. Absolutely, they would lose their minds. So, again, then they would be out protesting in the streets when they're not supposed to be gathering in the streets. So many things can happen. So many things can happen. Again, I am hopeful. I'm giving you my opinion. I am hopeful that if they prove the fraud, in this election, if they can prove it, and again, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt that they got to prove that it absolutely happened, then Biden is not going to be the president. Okay, that will be proven, I think. If what we need to do right now is be patient, let it run its course, because if you watched what I watched, our president was winning that election. Okay, and then we go to sleep, and in the morning, and now all of a sudden everything turned, and Biden's winning in all these states. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. I'm not that gullible, number one. Okay, so definitely something to think about. Hey, L. Gibson, there has been fraud in voting for a long time, but this time they were sloppy. Biden said a little while ago, first mandate will wear mask. Yeah, exactly. He did say that. Yes, he did. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm not going to have somebody dictate to me what I can and cannot do. It's not going to happen. Martial law by Trump would be fitting payback for fighting Trump for 4 years. Well, you know what? And that's the other thing, guys. If you got to, anybody that has supported the president, like I said, I think that the president had done a pretty good job. Now, again, and I'm going to be the first one to say this, is he rough around the edges? Absolutely. Is he crass? Yes, he is. Does he put his foot in his mouth a lot? Yes, he does. Does he lie? They all lie. Okay, so yeah, he lies too, like every other politician out there. But I believe that he had the best interest of this country at heart. That's what I believe. Okay, and again, you're voting not for the man, you're voting for the policies. Joe Biden is a yes man. He's going to do what he's told. He's not going to make any waves. He's going to be a good boy and do exactly what he's told by his puppet masters. The reason they don't like Trump, because they cannot control Trump. Okay, Trump goes by his own beat. He doesn't owe anybody anything. If you remember when he did his campaign the first time, it was all with his own money. If you guys remember that, okay. So again, like I said, I'm rough around the edges. I say it like it is. I'm not politically correct. The president's not politically correct. So that part of him I like, because I respect that. I would rather have somebody be straight up, give it to me straight, don't sugarcoat stuff, don't lie, as far as that part of it goes. Just say it like it is, and that's what he does. Now, again, does he do a lot of stupid things? Of course he does. But you know why, guys? Here's the weird thing. He's a human being, just like all of us. We all have our faults. None of us are perfect. So, that's what people need to remember, LOL, I am too, and mom is always telling me about it. Well, that's what happens. Yeah. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay. If you like it or you don't like it, that's going to be completely up to you. And I've always been that way. Again, I speak the truth. And here's the best part. And I know my trolls do this, okay? I know my trolls do this. They try to go back and catch me in things that I have said to see if I'm not telling the truth. And they're never going to be able to do that because I'm consistent. I've never changed my pattern of what I say, what I think. I am the same. And I'm always going to be that way. I'm going to put it out there. If I make a mistake about something, I'm going to be the first one to say it, that I made a mistake, okay? So, that's where I'm at with that, so. Guys, we're 1,800 people in the chat. We're at 822 on the thumbs up. I'm going to ask again if you would shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. I do appreciate that. Also, it really does help with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction that we have, and obviously we'd rather have positive interaction than negative. Did you see Prepper Princess on the Canadian Report? I did not. I did not see that. Nope. Again, thank you for that reason too. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up, so I'm not going to lie. That's another reason. I like to see a good number of thumbs up, so that's the third reason. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to subscribe, please, and also hit the bell icon to get all notifications, okay? So we have John Christopher said, if Trump won cleanly, they would say he cheated. New evidence will come out in the court showing the truth. Trump won overwhelmingly, So they had to cheat too much to cover it up. You know what? I don't disagree with that. You know what? If you just looking, okay, let's just look at it like from this aspect, guys. Thank you so much for the statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. Let's look at it from this aspect. Look at the Trump rallies, okay? Thousands upon thousands of people at the Trump rallies. Then look at the Biden rallies. You're going to tell me that many more people sat back and voted for Biden because of Trump, you know? So yeah, Prepper Princess needs to watch. I'll go check her out after the stream. I will. Will Biden take away our guns? He may try. I don't know. You know what? Hey, Colleen. Let's see. Bear spray, cattle rods, and lead. Colin Grease just said that. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for saying that, and thank you very much for the donation as well. But as far as the other person asking if they're going to come for our guns, you know what? Too difficult to do. You're going to have if they come out, okay. And I'll put this out here, and I'm giving you my opinion on this, okay? We have so many guns in the United States, it is ridiculous, okay? Look what gun control has done for Chicago. Look what gun control has done for New York City. That's two of the places that have the largest restrictions as far as gun control go. And they're two of the places that have the highest crime rate with guns, okay? It has been proven that gun control does not work. All they do, now listen, guys, I want you to think about this. If they try to come in and try to do some kind of executive order or something to try to take away the guns, it's all about control. Because if you can't fight back, look at Nazi Germany. History repeats itself. It's only 80 years ago, okay, if you think about it, because the Germans rose into power. The Nazis did in the 30s. Okay, so we're talking what now? We're talking almost 90 years ago. They rose to power. What the first thing that they did is they took away the guns, because you didn't need to have a gun, right? But they sure had them. Their Gestapo, the special police, all those people had guns, right? So think about that. If you let yourself be hamstrung, like they've let themselves be hamstrung in the UK, like they've let themselves be hamstrung in New Zealand, like they've let themselves be hamstrung in Australia and many other countries around the world, all right? That's an issue. The number one reason the United States has not been invaded by land is because so many people have weapons. So you wouldn't be just facing the army. You would be facing the citizenry as well. And that's why you're never going to see that happen. If they come out with something like that, I think you will see a revolution in this country. There will be people that will stand up and say enough is enough. I'm not putting it up with it anymore. And I think that's what you will see happen. So hold on a second. Let me just... Speaking as a Brit, do not let them take away your arms or legs. Only joking. With the legs bit. Yeah. Well, there you go. I know, like in the UK, I talked to the guys when I did the motorcycle tour. So I talked to them, and they don't understand our mentality when it comes to our guns in the United States. Okay. But I asked them, well, what is it like over there? If you want to have a gun, what do you have to do? In order over there, and if I'm wrong, guys, anybody here from the UK, okay, let me know if I'm wrong when I say this. What they were telling me was first of all, you got to get permission. If you have a gun, they have it like at a police station or something. You keep the gun locked up there. The ammo is locked up separately. If you have it in your home, I don't think they're allowed to have it in their home over there. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Okay. But I know that they got to get permission. Okay. They have to, if you want to go to the gun range, or if you want to go hunting or whatever the case may be, you have to basically go and ask for permission to get your own weapon to go do that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff with that. It's absolutely ridiculous that is the way that it is, okay? U.S. gun owners are the Earth's largest army. You are exactly right on that, John Carpenter, or John Christopher, I'm sorry. Yep, you are absolutely right on that. What will Biden do with all the guns? Give to the police or sell to China? Well, again, like I said, I think they would have a very, very difficult time long-term trying to take away our guns. Okay. I don't see that happening. It would be very, very difficult. Now, what they could do, is you have, there's, yes, Remington, Marlin, Bushmaster sued out of existence. They could go that route. They could make it where they could charge the gun manufacturer for somebody using a gun in a crime, okay? But in that case, that opens Pandora's box, because now you can sue the automakers then, if that's the case, for having that car sold to the drunk driver who killed people while drunk driving. I mean, that opens up a whole kettle of fish. Does that mean we now get to sue the knife makers because, I bought this butcher block kitchen set of knives and somebody took one of those knives and killed somebody? Okay. Again, you open up Pandora's box when you do that. And what is happening a lot of times now, they're limiting access to ammunition. Okay. It's harder and harder to get guns. But again, realistically, and I've said this before, guys, okay, I lived in Rochester for years, Rochester, New York, okay? I'm not living there now. I'm out in the country now. But realistically, if I have the money right now, I can drive down to Rochester, contact a couple of people. I can get whatever I want on the black market, whatever I want, okay? That's the reality of it. So gun control is never going to work, okay? Never going to work, because too many people want them. They have them. They're not going to give them up. They're not going to register them, okay? That's the reality. Just, I'm just being 100% honest, and that's the way it is. Rochester is an hour away from me in Buffalo. Well, Tracy, you're in Buffalo. You can get it right in Buffalo, too. I was just using Rochester because that was the biggest city, near me, where I was. Got to have my green tea. Had a beautiful, beautiful day here at the homestead today. Absolutely gorgeous. The weather was fantastic. And people have been collecting guns for generations. Exactly. For generations upon generations. And they hand them down to the next level. Yeah, it happened in Australia. You're right. It did happen in Australia, but we're not Australia. Okay? Obviously, we saw what happened with Australia. They're very, very restricted. They let it happen. The people let it happen. And now the government has complete and total control of what they can and cannot do. Okay? Green tea salute for the Steelers beating the boys. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. There was a couple plays in there that were definitely fishy. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. A couple plays in that game. Cowboys were winning that game. There was a couple of plays. There was a third down call of roughing the passer that was kind of BS, in my opinion, that the Steelers would have had to punt, and they ended up going down and scoring a touchdown. There was another one where a turnover, and, they some other penalty against the Cowboys. So, yeah, I don't care. Like I said, the more losses the Cowboys get now, that's fine. Get a better draft pick. Let Philadelphia win the division with a 6-10 record, and let them get their butts handed to them. I don't really care anymore. So Cowboys are having a bad year. Got to deal with it. It is what it is. They need Dak back. They need to make sure they sign him to a long-term contract. He's a fantastic quarterback, and they can see what's happened without him. I think a lot of those games would have been a lot different with him back there behind the ball. That's my opinion on that, but that, doesn't matter. Facebook is bad for politics. Oh, yeah, the social media was absolutely 100% completely biased in this whole election. 100% bias. That's a fact. I mean, there's no debating that. They're not open-minded in any way, shape, or form. The news outlets, same thing. Same thing with the news outlets. Hey, Pamela Sherry, the election is not over. If the Supreme Court rules fraud in enough places, the election can be nullified and redone. Remember, Romney declared victory, and 30 days later, Bush took it after a recount. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, and I talked about that earlier, and thank you very much for the donation. I talked about that earlier, where 37 days, they said, that he was the Al Gore. It was Al Gore that was saying that he was the president. And then they did the hanging Chad whole thing in Florida, had to redo everything and get it all squared away. But it was, I know you said Romney, but it was actually Al Gore. But, and then Bush ended up being president. So, like I said, this is not over. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Let the legal process work out, We'll just pay attention to that. Yeah, I know. Everybody's putting on here now, it was Al Gore and not Romney. Yes, she made a mistake. It happened. She's a human being. So, yes, but it was Al Gore. So, we got it. But, again, Al Gore did it with his global warming. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And, you know what? Al Gore made millions with the whole global warming nonsense. So, yeah. Al Gore has no rhythm. No, he does not. That is Reese Round. I didn't. Hold on a second. I did not get my gator. I don't know if he's around tonight or not. I'll have to talk to him, and we'll find out. I'll find out for you. Okay. I don't know if he's watching tonight. Okay, so just so not giving out his information, Reese has some medical issues that happen for him, and so he is not always able to be on a stream, and so he has some stuff going on that way. And I'm not going to get into what it is because that's his business. That I don't need to share that with you, but he does have some medical issues, and so he's not always going to be on a stream. Most of the time he'll be here. But I didn't even talk to him today. So, and that's actually unusual. So he could be having some issues today. So I'll have to give him a call after the stream is over with. So, but anyway, guys, again, moving forward with this whole thing, we need to be calm. We need to relax. Let the process work out. The lawyers are taking care of it right now. If they can prove the fraud in this election, which realistically, because they had to do it in such large quantities, okay, that they had to do it in such large quantities, it's going to get caught. All right. So that's what that's my, let's do the eggs, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about that. All right. Let's do the egg count really, really quickly. So what is everybody's guess as far as how many eggs we got today with the birds? So sorry about that. I wasn't even thinking about that. We're already like 47 minutes into the chat. So I'll give you the answer in a moment. And the person that was asking about the egg count, Love Jones, their guess with 2 eggs was 100% correct. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, egg count. So it was 2 eggs today. We ended up with 2. But we had 2 days in a row where we had 0. So that was, yesterday we ended up with 1. I'm sorry. We ended up with 1 yesterday, and today we ended up with 2. So, but like I said, the girls are molting. I don't have a light in the chicken coop. I don't keep a light in there. So if I put a light in there, they would lay more. I may have to run an extension cord out there. I don't know. I don't want to do artificial stuff to force them to lay more eggs. That's not really what I want to do. I want to let them rest when they need to rest. And that's kind of what my thought process is with that. At this point in time, I don't need to have that many eggs. And so, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So, what is your opinion on the watermarks on the ballots? Again, thank you, Truth Warrior, for asking that question. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true. I think it would be smart if they had done that, because that'd be a great way to prove that there was fraudulent activity taking place. Now, if they did that, it's a great way to prove that. But again, we've seen the videos, guys. I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, where ballot counters were marking ballots with a pen and then stamping them and then putting them in a pile. Now, what were they doing there? You know what I mean? Again, there was a lot of people that went to vote. And think about this too, okay? A lot of people went to vote. They told them, oh, you've already voted by mail. And they go, no, I didn't. So again, that's fraudulent activity happening in their names. When deceased people are voting, when you have that happening, when you have all of a sudden you see the problem, the biggest problem that I have And I know a lot of them were not counting the votes until election day. Okay, they couldn't count them until election day. But it's amazing to me when you need XYZ number of votes, like Wisconsin. Let's use Wisconsin as a great example, okay? They needed a certain number of votes. All of a sudden, Biden wins Wisconsin by 20,000 votes. Isn't that amazing when he was behind, okay? Wisconsin, Ohio, again, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina. So, think about it. It's too coincidental. And like I said, I believe that, like I said, in my opinion, I believe fraudulent activity has been done. If they can prove that, then it's going to null and void Biden's winning the presidency. That's a fact, okay? I don't think that he won it. I don't. That's my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. It's not sour grapes for me. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to just have a temper tantrum because President Trump didn't win. That's not what this is about. If he lost it fair and square, I got no problem with that. If they come back through the courts and they say the president lost fair and square, I'm going to go, okay, well, we're stuck with Joe Biden for the next 4 years. Well, let's be realistic. We're stuck with Harris for the next 4 years because Biden won't be there for 4 years. That's, but, yeah, it's just, again, we just have to, we wait. Right now, we need to be patient. We need to see. I look at it, and I'm going to put it the way I look at it. Right now is a window of opportunity. Once again, okay, it's a window of opportunity to continue to get ready. Continue to do what you got to do. With the COVID numbers jumping up like they're jumping up in this country again, another shutdown is not beyond the realm of possibility. We're talking record numbers is what they're saying right now, okay? Hey, Judy, let's see. Hold on. Sidney Powell, software hammer and scorecard was used to change voting numbers. Yes, I heard that as well. Thank you very much for that information, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I can't say that happened for sure. If they use the hammer program, I heard that they use that. Again, that's something else that's in the news, that they use the hammer program and they change the numbers and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, that's true. That's what they did, because I don't know. Okay, that's information that is out there. But again, glitches is an excuse to cover mistakes of actual stuff we noticed was wrong. Yeah, again, like I said, the whole thing smells fishy. If something smells fishy, it's usually fishy. Okay. And of course, the people that wanted Biden, they're just like all up in arms and are happy. And I had somebody say to me, well, Biden won, deal with it. Well, if he won fair and square, yeah, I'll deal with it. I'll suck it up, Buttercup. You know what I'm saying? But if he won fraudulently, there's nothing to suck up. If it's proven that they cheated to win, okay, then we have to deal with that issue, because that's not a free and clear democracy if that's the case. Now, if it comes out, and I want you guys to remember this too, if it comes out that Biden